So what I do in the mornings is I wake up, go downstairs and do therapy. I do these therapies to help me feel better so I can play with friends and do football and other activities that are really fun. Then I go eat breakfast, then I change and brush my teeth, and then I get ready for school and then we leave.
Evan was born in 2013, and he was just a beautiful, healthy boy. We were so happy. And he was growing like he should have been. And at 5 weeks, we got a call from the pediatrician that he needed to meet with McKay and I outside of office hours. And so we knew at that moment that something was probably wrong.
The doctor told us that he had cystic fibrosis. They told us the next day we had to go to Primary Children's in Salt Lake. And they taught us there about the severity of the disease, the medications and the therapies that would hopefully extend, not save, but extend his life.
CF is a lung disease that puts mucus in my lungs and makes it harder to digest food and breathe, and it's just different from being normal for normal kids.
I remember that we both looked at each other and he said, we're gonna do whatever we have to do. We'll make whatever sacrifices we need to make. We'll move wherever. We'll find and spend whatever amount of money we need to spend.
We want no regrets. Like, we wanted to know that at the end we did everything we could for our son.
To ensure that he has the longest, healthiest life possible.
He was in and out of the hospital when he was younger. And then we got Symdeko or Orkambi, which changed his life.
There have been multiple generations of these really exciting modulator drugs. So when he was 2, there was the first generation medication for his age group that was in trial. It wasn't approved by the FDA yet. And the closest medical center that offered the trial was at Stanford. So we called Stanford just out of the blue and asked if we could participate in Stanford's trial. And we did it, and it was a significant sacrifice, but it got that medication in him much sooner than if we had waited 2 to 3 more years for the FDA to approve it. And now we're on the 3rd generation of that, a similar drug that has changed his life and is changing lives of CF people all over the world.
I could tell it helped my body. It's just my stomach didn't hurt as bad. It helped my liver. I feel like my lungs expanded and could breathe so much more air.
It is perhaps the most important medical advancement of the last 25 years. It is that significant. The drug is going into the cell and forcing it to behave more normally.
I call it my miracle because I didn't know. All that good stuff could happen inside a tiny pill.
To think about where we came from in the 50s and 60s with this disease, when they were telling parents, you won't send your kid to kindergarten, had no hope at all. And yet they just persisted. And because of that, we're the beneficiaries of that generational, sorry, I apologize. To now, his life expectancy appears to be unlimited. It's remarkable to think about all the effort and the blood and the sweat and the tears and the money and the sacrifice that has gone into developing one pill.
Every chronic illness story has unsung heroes, and I would say that Jackson's, the top of that list for Evan. God knew that we needed Jackson first, and not just for us, but I think for Evan's sake too.
I try to help with whatever I can. I play Madden against him and usually beat him.
I like to whoop his butt in Madden.
Sometimes I'll get his pills when Mom and Dad aren't home and stuff like that.
Helping me do my treatments and helping me reach stuff when I'm on this therapy.
What I do to show Evan that I love him is just say I love him and I care for him.
All the times that Evan's been hospitalized, like the person he most lights up to see is Jackson. Gets up and gives him a huge hug and they fall over together on the bed, and that's been the case every time he's been hospitalized or every time he's been sick. Evan's really lucky to have him.
I like BYU football because my mom and dad went there in college, and my grandma and grandpa went there, and everyone else in my family did.
Do you want to go there someday?
Yes.
You play football?
Yes.
So we are a BYU family. It's a big part of our life. We just love it.
We've had so many amazing memories that circle around BYU football and BYU sporting events as a family. They've brought us so much joy. I remember many times Evan being sick and us always sitting down, and one thing that we always try to do is watch the home games together, where you can go in person or be here and at the house watching it.
There's one story that's kind of interesting. So Evan was heading up to Primary Children's. He was in pain, he was hurting, he was crying, and the only way he would stop crying was just singing the BYU fight song over and over and over. So he's just like singing the fight song, tears are streaming down his face, and he's doing the, go Cougar, like he's doing everything with the fight song as we drove up to Primary Children's.
Recently, Evan got invited to come down for a day with the players. They call it True Blue Hero Day. And that was such a cool experience for Evan and our whole family, really.
They were in practice, so they came and ran over to me. They gave me like a couple hats and a water bottle and did the really cool stuff, and shirts and clothes and stuff like that.
Which is so much swag. It just kept coming. I don't know. I don't think I've seen him happier.
No, it was awesome.
Just to see
So
that
cool.
genuine smile on his face. Those are the moments that we want to capture. Those are the moments we want to provide, and we couldn't have done it without BYU, and we're just so grateful to them for providing that experience for Evan.
So I also got my Make-A-Wish. So what it is I want to meet Zach Wilson in New York, and it got granted that day. So I am going to the New York Jets versus the Buffalo Bills.
Welcome to the Jets Training Center. Jackson, nice to meet you.
We're so grateful to Make-A-Wish working with the New York Jets to make that such a cool experience for Evan. Getting to see the team, getting to tour the stadium, getting to meet Zach Wilson, who's one of Evan's favorite players. Just an awesome experience.
It's tough, man. These little kids that, kind of have to go through these things are not easy. And, it's cool to see how we can bring that joy to their lives of, hanging out with them, talking ball with them, whatever it is, inviting them to games. You get to see kind of how much it means to them to be around us players, how we can be an influence for them. So, like my mom's always kind of taught me, use it for the good, allow football to kind of inspire others and help others through tough times and kind of what they're going through.
CF has taught me that it's not easy going out in and out the hospital, but life is gonna throw challenges at you and you just have to get through them.